Maybe I'm just out of the loop there, but I didn't know that that was a thing.
You are hearing this right, an analog 5-watt VTX. If you've ever wanted to microwave your brain from across the room, well, you're going to want to see this video. G'day, Stu from UAVfutures, and I used to think, what sort of loser would want a 5-watt analog VTX? Do you know nothing about noise floors and power levels, you just ridiculous person? But then I signed a contract for money and now I think it's cool. So what we're gonna do in this video, it is actually a sponsored video, but let me tell you, you might be surprised at the results. This is from AKK and this is their 5-watt VTX. We're gonna take it for a flight and it's been just sort of a bit of a pain to get set up and we're not having a great time with it. So here's gonna be like my honest opinions, even though this is the first sponsored video I have done in forever, and I'm gonna make sure I click that little button, let it be known that this is a sponsored video, but we're gonna cruise around with the 5-watt VTX and you can decide for yourself, do we need this in the hobby? Who's it for? And yeah, just I'll let you see. We're gonna catch up with Stickman Steve and see some of the flights as well. Now, as a bit of an overview, of course, I'll put some pictures on the screen. There's not too much to say. This 5-watt VTX here, there's a couple of different versions. It also goes through a whole range of frequencies, which is its own bit of a nightmare. But setting this thing up, it took forever. It has an inbuilt fan in here because you're going to absolutely need it if you're going to be pumping things around on 5 watts. Of course, I'm going to be flying around legally, but yeah, it's pretty chunky. It's like, I'll put the dimensions on the screen as well. It did not fit in the top of our quad. We had to put it in the back of our fishing drone. You can see it right here. And well, like, what can I say? Let's go fly it around because I don't know who in the general FPV scene is going to be using this, and maybe that's a discussion you'll see at the end of this video.
The VTX is aimed for, right? Something semi-long range.
It has been the most annoying thing. This has been the most annoying VTX to try to get sorted.
Yep.
Now.
The GPS isn't hooked up?
No, I've turned all the GPS stuff
sweet.
off. All right, so the first thing I want to show you, I've never seen this before, but if I go in, what's going on here? In here, into my features, down to my VTX, and I go to my frequency, you need to select, it says like current frequency, new frequency, and I'm changing it like 5745, 5746, 5748. So I'm going to leave mine on 5740. I've never seen that before. Maybe I'm just out of the loop there, but I didn't know that that was a thing. Have you ever used that, Steve?
No, I'm trying to compute what you're saying. So instead of like
this band, yeah, no, it's like current frequency 5740, and then new frequency, and you just adjust it for, like it's just like going up in numbers per one. But anyway,
righto. Is that for low band?
It's for everything from like the entire VTX part. Now, this is the part where it gets a little bit sketchy because when I arm this, we're going to, the quad will arm, but I'm going to lose video for a second. So I know you had that issue as well when you tried to do it at your place. So I don't know how this is actually going to go in terms of a flight. We've tried different like capacitors on there. We've tried like grounding it in different places through the flight controller, directly almost off the battery.
And stock VTX tables from the manufacturer?
It is. All right, yeah, it is. So let me just adjust these goggles. All right, and double check I'm recording. Okay, here we go. I'm standing back because...
Yeah, I don't quite trust this thing.
Yeah, no, it's freaking me out. So like, I've armed. Is it spinning?
No. Now it is.
Okay, so I've lost picture. Now my picture's back.
What? Careful on your punch outs.
So you just don't have that much confidence when you're cruising around. So I'm just going to go for a gentle cruise, and then do you think we'll lose it on a punch out?
I wasn't running the same VTX setup as per se. Like I was just running the stock tables that you download into Betaflight, and every time I did a punch out, it would just black out. That was it, done. All
right. So in terms of range, like, I don't know what you can, I can't really say that in the review here because I'm not pumping out 5 watts on a VTX. It has that option, but I don't have any way of proving like just how far you can go with that. And it doesn't seem like it's designed with that sort of stuff in mind anyway for the average pilot, the average FPV pilot. But what I am gonna do, I'm gonna do a little punch here. Do you reckon we're gonna lose it?
I hope not.
No. So No, it's actually
Solid?
clear. I didn't get any, like I'm not getting any breakup. Like it's a really clear picture. Everything looks good. I'm going to fly out a little bit more. I'm getting some RSSI things. But yeah, I don't really have any issues with the actual video or anything like that right now. But I don't know what it is. It just does not fill me with confidence when I'm going to plug this in and I can't see anything for a while
No,
it sort
definitely
of
not.
spools up. Because we've flown this drone before and it doesn't do it with any other VTX. So I don't know why it's doing it with this. Like, just trying to punch it, just smashing the throttle. I'm looking at my low volts here, but yeah, it's not normal. I don't know what is causing it to do that. All right, I'm going to bring it in because there's not too much I can say anyway that I can really test for without flying this thing for kilometers upon kilometers. But yeah, 5-watt VTX that has some very peculiar quirks. All right, let me bring this in.
Yeah, you're good. Yep. Nice.
And then I lose video again when the motors stop. And now it's back. Like,
really?
Ready? And armed, disappeared. It's come back. Stop motors. They've disappeared. It's come back.
As you say, faith in that, like that's the whole reason of FPV, right?
Yeah, I know. I don't have confidence if I'm going to be taking that a long way.
Yeah.
It just sort of, it freaks me out a little bit because I don't have any other VTXs that do that. And we've had other VTXs in this quad
they work fine, yeah.
that don't do that. So I don't know.
So, as you can see, a couple of the caveats, I don't know what it is, I don't know why it didn't do it with any of our other VTXs. We've flown in this before. For some reason, whenever we arm the motors on this thing, the picture like drops out and it goes really grainy. I don't know. We've tried it putting on different grounds, powering it straight from here, capacitors, powering it from the flight controller, like, I don't know, we're just not having very much success with this. It was a bit of a pain to set up. I do not like how when you're going to go through on the OSD, you need to change the VTX channels like the frequency individual. I'm not really used to that. I know some people might not be bothered by it, but in general use case in an FPV hobby, we like to stick to our legal bands that we're allowed to fly with. This feels like it is made for like long range missions that you don't really care too much about some of those extra features. But in saying that, before you jump on the bandwagon and put some negative comments about them, I've got to give AKK a thumbs up because on their website, they talk about they don't support the weaponization of their products. So it's kind of interesting. This thing is there. Maybe there's some use cases that I'm not seeing. A 5-watt VTX feels absolutely insane. However, I just didn't have the best time with it. But thanks to the money and sponsorship, I think it's cool. Anyway, check out this video because I actually picked that video specifically for you and I guarantee you're going to watch it and be like, man, that was a good video, Stu. Thank you.